I'm Naomi and welcome to Naomi Tarot. If you haven't been to my channel before, please like and subscribe down below. Every like and subscription definitely helps my channel grow. It helps me to reach more people. And if you have not seen it before, my channel is primarily about world truths, channeled messages, and things that we need to consider and realize to open up our third eye, to open up our heart chakra, to open up ourselves to the truth of the universe. I also do a lot of pick a card or pick a number readings about day-to-day guidance for you, or month to month, or year to year, whenever, because I believe every reading is timeless whenever you happen to watch it. So, the title of this video is a little scary, a little alarming, but I wanted to get your attention. It's not clickbait. I am going to talk about it. So World War III is here, and the paradigm shift is here, and the end of the world as we know it is here. But I don't mean that in a scary way necessarily, although there are some alarming, scary changes we see, as with Epstein, as with Andrew, as with what's going on in Australia, as with, Iran, and all of these things that are setting the world stage up to be very unstable and very tumultuous. Absolutely, those things are scary to people. We have a Pluto return coming for the United States and its birthday in July. We are beginning the Pluto return 2 years before that. The Pluto return happens in 2022, but the years before that, things start speeding up and escalating with the foundations crumbling, the foundations becoming shaky. That emperor turning in the reverse, where that positive masculine energy in the upright turns negative. That's what we're seeing in 2020. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 in numerology is the number 4. The number 4 is the vibration of the Emperor card in the tarot deck. So what do all these things mean? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on what's going on. I think more and more people are waking up, and more people are giving less fucks about what others think of them. And, I think that there are people in power, certainly, especially those out of the main powers that have controlled this world for many, many years, including the royal family, who have been awakened to the truth of what's going on, have been awakened to how we're being manipulated on a mass scale. And they're either going with the flow and choosing to participate, or they're walking away. I do think that this is part of the reason it's not just the media bullying or the bullying by fans of the royal family that Meghan has experienced, why her and Harry are walking away. I think it's much deeper than that, and they are in tuned and know what's really going on in the world, and they've chosen to separate themselves from it. This reading is not going to be about them. I'm going to touch on them just to illustrate my point of what I'm trying to say, why this is the end of our paradigm as we know it. But this is not a royal family channel, and I don't intend it to be so. I intend it to be a spiritual enlightenment channel, a daily guidance channel, and one that I can help you, and you support me in helping you. That is, and sharing information that I know and bridging that together so we can become enlightened together and be woke, and not asleep anymore. If you want to stay sleeping, go right ahead. Naomi Tarot is not for you. So I'm going to go to my first point. So what we saw on the Golden Globes this year with Ricky Gervais, and I love him, or Gervais, I absolutely love him, was somebody who doesn't give any fucks anymore. Was somebody who was very woke and was basically telling it like it is to everybody. I don't think his jokes were really jokes if you watch clips of it. I don't think his, comments were really as joking as I think that they were serious, and he just got away with saying it because he's a comedian. He basically roasted Hollywood. He roasted them for their complicity or compliance with Harvey Weinstein and all those years that he allegedly abused people, and nobody said anything, and people went along with it and just sucked it up because they wanted to be part of their famous crowd. He basically told them that their kind is dying out, and in the future, nobody's going to give two fucks about movies because everybody watches Netflix now. Nobody goes to the movie theaters anymore. He's all right on that. He also said at the end that Hollywood has no business giving political advice to us little people because they have no freaking clue what it's like to live as a little person. That these Hollywood people are very hypocritical for riding on their private jets and, a la George Clooney, a la Harry and Meghan. It doesn't even matter. And you know what? That's why people jumping on Harry and Meghan's case, it's a little silly and short-sighted, because this is what all of Hollywood does. So jump on everybody's case in Hollywood too, not just Harry and Meghan. That's what I'm always saying on this channel. He basically called them all out for being short-sighted, out of touch, deluded people with lots of money who are preaching to everybody else, the little people, about how we should live according to climate change, while they jump on their private jets, while they put all their pollution everywhere in the world and don't give two shits about anybody else but themselves. He told them all essentially that they're a bunch of complicit, lying hypocrites, in so many words, and that things like Prince Andrew and his admiration of people who are underage, or his alleged involvement with them sexually, isn't too foreign to people in Hollywood. So why are they all getting bent out of shape, essentially, is what he said. So that is an example that would have never been allowed on TV years ago. And the fact that that was even allowed is showing that more and more people are getting woke to what's going on. So then you go on to point number 2. Epstein, it's clear, we know that this was not a suicide, right? The world is not buying the lies anymore. This was even said by Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes, where this was shown to the masses. This was mainstream television, somebody calling them out. And like I said, the only reason he might have gotten away with it because it was framed in the guise of humor, when we know he wasn't really joking. And, then our next point, now we have instability with Iran, right? We have instability with the decisions that the president decided to make about Soleimani, or Soleimani, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, and taking him out and, assassinating him. We have controversy over his decision to do that. And we have, the left people saying, oh no, that would have never happened with the left president, and the right people saying Trump made the right decision. But what you don't realize when you have to take a side, right or left, is that you are still following into the paradigm that they want you to. You're still feeding into the two-party paradigm that isn't even really real, right? So part of this crumbling and this paradigm shift is telling us to wake up. You can stay asleep, or you can wake up to the fact that half of these things, these ideologies, these quote unquote truths that we're given, that we're told on the media, are not really true. If you want to stay asleep longer, go right ahead. But I'm here on this journey, opening up the third eye, and I'm telling you what the ending of the world is, what World War III is, what all of this instability really is a paradigm shift. This is a paradigm shift. So if something subtle isn't going to wake you up, the universe, spirit, God is going to throw something at you that's even bigger to make you wake up. And if it doesn't take that, then stay asleep. But this world is moving and this world is changing, whether you wake up to it or not. And that's really the meaning of apocalypse or World War III. It's a war on your mind. It's a war on your beliefs, and it's a war on what you do day to day, the decisions you make based on what you think is true. Do you worship Hollywood celebrities? Do you become obsessed with Harry and Meghan to the point where you don't pay attention to what matters? Do you worship the people that you see on social media? Do you worship the people you see on Instagram? Do you like to feed into, of course, we like entertainment. I, like anybody else, likes Billie Eilish. I love her. I think her music's great. I like Post Malone. I stay up with modern music. I like old stuff. I like new stuff. I like, you know, Nirvana, anything ranging from that to FKA Twigs, who is an amazing artist, by the way, and she's one of the woke, right? But if you're, if you're talking about music even, it infiltrates music. If you have an inability to recognize how you are being subtly and slowly brainwashed, I can't help you unless you're going to wake up. If this channel, you're hoping that it's all about Harry and Meghan, and why did Meghan do this, and she's the second coming of Satan. And if you truly believe that, I truly feel sorry for you, because it's a lot deeper than her. I don't think she's some little angel, but neither is the rest of Hollywood. That's my point. And when you buy into this and get distracted by this all over the media, if you've noticed since the president announced that he's going into Iraq and Iran, and since that happened, since the Australia fires have happened, do you notice that everything yet again is all about Harry and Meghan, Harry and Meghan? Because you know why? It's a distraction. So the more you feed into that, and the more you have fear in your heart and anger in your heart, the more you are going to fall deeper and deeper and deeper under the spell and the trance that they want you to. Furthermore, this type of brainwashing and infiltration even seeps into our music. Certain artists like Beyonce, in my opinion, allegedly follow occult dark practices. People like, even somebody like Billie Eilish, who I don't think is involved in the kind of stuff Beyonce does. She's like, you know, just somebody who came out and her songs tend to be depressing. Even somebody like Billie Eilish, they use as a tool to write low vibrational lyrics, sad lyrics, depressing lyrics to keep you at a low vibration when you listen to it. So pay attention to the kind of music you're listening to all the time. Now, I'm not telling you not to enjoy it. Sometimes a sad song can be cathartic for somebody who's going through something tough. But if that's all you find yourself listening to is sad things, or things about sex, drugs, and money, like by the rappers, or whatever, or rock music that's about that, or songs that are just depressing and about sadness, or songs that have, you know, allegedly and in my opinion, undertones of Satanism in them, like following that kind of stuff, and you're obsessed with that kind of stuff, and you're not waking up to what's being shown to you day to day, I can't help you. I can't, this channel's not for you. But if you are woke to that and you want to understand what this is doing to everybody at a global scale, putting them literally under a spell, then this is the place for you, because we're exploring that. But my point of this video today is to tell you that it's in everything from your music to your movies, to what you pay attention to on the news headlines. That is the paradigm we've been caught in a long time. And people are finally starting to wake up more and more, to the point where there's now came on mainstream television where a supposed comedian called everybody out right in their faces on the Golden Globes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Ricky Gervais' monologue on the Golden Globes 2020. This would have been unheard of 10, 15 years ago, to see somebody rip people apart and call them out that much on the Golden Globes. That would never have been allowed. You know, at the end, he told them to go drink, do their drugs, and fuck off. This is how like serious he was. It wasn't a joke, and he just walked off like a boss. So this is what what I'm talking about. The more people wake up, the more the paradigm will shift. And we have the fire going on, I want to mention, in Australia. You know, I made a video about sending prayers to them and thinking positively for them so that they can be protected, especially the animals, because there's been more animals that have perished than people over there. But, you know, it's like that kind of thing is a reaction, in my opinion, whether people believe in global warming or whether they believe in the fact that the reason the fires happened is because, yes, arsonists started them, but also they don't do the land burning that they need to do little by little, like the Aborigines mentioned, similar to the Native Americans, in order to slowly clear brush from the land so that there wouldn't be explosive fires, because the government didn't do that. Whether you believe it's because of that or you believe it's because of global warming, it really doesn't make a difference. It's still a reaction from the earth, right? It's a negative reaction from the earth based on what careless humans have done. So you see this energetic shift happening in our physical, happening in our psychological, happening in our emotional. And World War III and the end of the world really talks about the end of a paradigm. And yes, things are going to start to get more violent. They're going to start to escalate. They're going to start to speed up. We're not really going to be able to stop that aspect of it. But what we can do is how we choose to make a positive contribution in our own lives. I do that in my part, and I'm not saying it to make myself sound so great by making these videos to tell you guys about this. And I also do other things, but you can just do a small thing, even if it's for somebody you know, right? How are you going to stabilize your life during this change? That's the Emperor energy, right? That I've talked about for 2020, because this is all a reaction of the negative side of the Emperor, of trying to force people to think your way, trying to dominate, trying to bulldoze them, trying to, you know, force the masses to think a certain way, to manipulate them, to control them. That's the negative aspects of the Emperor, because with every positive, there's a negative. This year is the last year of that really toxic, negative, patriarchal energy grinding its nails in and holding on. And how are we going to see the positive side of the sacred masculine and balance it with that? Because this world's foundation is so shaky. How are we going to do that? That's what 2020 means. And then as we progress into 2021, the year of change, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5. 5 is the number of the Hierophant card, which means change. We're going to see these things escalate even more. By the time we get to 2022, it will be a 6 year, which will go more into divine feminine energy. So what I'm trying to tell you is, don't allow yourself to get too caught up in this spell that you're being put under by different singers, right? not just by different singers, but by different, the spell you're getting caught up in with the movies and people you admire or you don't admire, or even people you want to hate on. Like if you love Harry and Meghan or you want to hate on Harry and Meghan, it really doesn't matter either way. When you get too sucked into the drama of them or any other celebrity, whether it's Selena and Justin or Harry and Meghan or whatever it is, you have already allowed yourself to get caught under the spell. If all you ever listen to is low vibrational pop music, which if you've noticed as it's been coming out lately, it's got lower and lower vibration lyrics, more and more depressing lyrics more and more about drugs, alcohol, sex, not about things that really matter. The more you allow yourself to get sucked into that, the more asleep you will be. So pay attention, try to expand your mind beyond the mainstream, beyond what's being thrown at you on the news, and look within yourself authentically. What do you really enjoy? Now, I'm not saying don't listen to Post Malone or Billie Eilish. I listen to both of them. But how can you maybe balance that stuff with something else to try to feed that soul aspect of yourself, that optimistic aspect of yourself, that you're not contracting, that you're expanding as a human being in this world, right? The way you expand is with uplifting energy, not with depressing low vibration energy. So you can expand further the higher vibration music you surround yourself with, the higher vibration entertainment you surround yourself with, the higher vibration activities you participate in. What is your passion? Do you like to paint? Do you like to write? Do you like a sport? You know, don't go caught up in what the news wants to tell you every day. If you cannot physically control everything that's going on in the news, why feed into it all the time? That's my point. Why feed into the two-party lie paradigm that they have given us for so many years? You know, as you know on this channel, as I've said many times, if I was forced to go a certain way, most of my views are on the left. However, there are a few views I have on the right, which makes it so that neither side really fully represents me. And I think that should be the case for most people. Why would either side fully represent a multidimensional human being? We are all multidimensional unless we want to fall asleep and think in black and white. So how can you, rather than contract, expand? Think about that. Think about, again, how you can support yourself, make your foundations more solid, make the foundations more solid of others around you in what small ways you can, because it is divine emperor masculine energy. Against that toxic masculine, how can you utilize the sacred masculine to stabilize? Because when we get on in years, in the next 2 years with the Pluto return coming full circle in 2022, we are going to be entering more of the divine feminine in 2022. That's when that big crumbling is going to occur, and things will be speeding up in 2020 and 2021. Something to think about. Thank you for watching, you guys. And I'm going to go more in depth about this and the symbolism in the music industry and the symbolism in the film industry and what's been going on my Patreon, because there's certain things I cannot discuss on YouTube. If you'd like to get your own reading, spirit channeling, life coaching session or spell, I have a master's in mental health, so I'm a good life coach, but I will not do it as a therapist. Just so you know, it'll be billed as a life coach. Go to my website, check out all my services. And again, if you have any questions, it's Naomi Tarot 1199@gmail.com. Bye.
Win an award tonight. Don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God. And so, it's already 3 hours long. Right, let's do the first award. The first presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it. I didn't. You did it.